All right, so you guys can bring up your presentation. And once you start to speak, I will start the timer and you may begin.
While drawing, I discover what I really want to say. Behind every piece of art is a story. And as a viewer, we may not immediately resonate with and fully understand the passion and the inspiration that goes into every single art piece. Unless the artist is able to tell their own story and connect with the viewer on a more personal level, we may miss key connecting pieces to the art and miss what the artist is fully trying to convey. We are here today to solve that problem. My name is Alicia, and I'm here with my colleagues Suraj and Patricia, and together we are Art Story.
In a gallery, everyone sees the beautiful pieces of artwork that are created on display. But the main problem is that there's a missing story behind every piece of artwork. Art Story focuses on personally connecting the story from the artist to their artwork. We want to share the stories and the knowledge about the art and the local artists in the community. We aim to provide a deeper understanding, a connection, and appreciation to the work behind the art. We want to increase engagement in the community for arts and cultural activities. And hopefully within this, we want to expand interest within other market segments as well. Art Story adds value to pieces of art by creating a digital experience that connects the story directly from the artist. We use near-field communication technology, or NFC, which is actually commonly used in things such as Apple Pay. NFC technology will be placed on the art piece label, where the user can then scan their mobile device, and it will connect them to a web page. And this includes a personal video from the artist, perhaps telling the story or the inspiration behind the artwork. It can also include any other additional information that's provided on the piece. This will also allow us to provide data on the engagement and interaction with the piece, such as how frequently it was viewed or how long viewers were on the web page looking at the information. This data can then be utilized by the gallery or the artist to understand which pieces were the most popular on display.
So we will be showing a real demo of our technology and how everything works. So right here is an actual working prototype of our technology. So let's say you go into the art gallery and you look at a piece and you want more information on it and the artist itself. What you would do is grab your mobile device, hover it right over, just like that. And then this notification will pop up right at the top. And then we can click on it and it'll just load here for a second. And so as that's loading, it'll bring up the web page and we'll show you in closer detail on the screen just so you can see it up close. So as you can see, it actually showcases the piece of art right at the top of the page and our company. And as you scroll down, you will get to the video of the artist explaining their muse and how they made that art and other information that they would want on that website. So how are we going to be utilizing this technology and implementing it? Well, we're going to start by partnering with galleries. And in the first year, we're planning on partnering with one gallery. From there, we can order all the supplies, the labels, the materials for them, the NFCs, and start to create those portfolios with the artists as we just showed. When this is done, we'll sell the ad space on these websites to local companies or other art affiliated links. And that way we'll be making that revenue stream as well. And we'll be creating these labels, attaching our NFC technology to it, providing the gallery with these labels, and they can easily just screw it on right underneath the painting or wherever they see fit. And when that is done, we're going to monitor that website traffic and then provide that engagement data depending on how frequently the company is wanting to, and then maintain the website and start to seek new partnerships as we want to grow our company.
So looking at our market analysis, this was pulled from a survey in the greater Kamloops area, and about 82% of respondents wanted to hear the story behind the piece of artwork that they purchased. So whether that is somebody that is more of an art connoisseur, they have more of a collection, and they're looking at adding another piece to the pieces in the collection that they already have, they're going to want to know more about the background of it, why the artist created it, how it meshes with all the other pieces that they may already have in their home. This can also go in the other sense where 90% wish that they knew more about the artists in their community. This technology will help people understand if it's their neighbor down the road, if it is a traditional piece that is being created by Aboriginal or Native artists that are in the greater Kamloops community as well. And with that, about 84% said that arts and culture are an important or an essential component of a thriving community. And we feel that by implementing this technology, we can really add to that community and we can offer them more opportunities to engage, which 69% of the residents within the Kamloops area said that they were looking for. So whether that is, this is a new family tradition, you're bringing your children to the art gallery on the weekends, or this is an after school activity, you're going out with your girlfriends for the day and you wanna learn a little bit more about the things that are happening in your community. This really helps bring people together, and we feel that there's a really rich market for us to implement this. And then as far as our target market goes, the people that we are looking to work with most are the art galleries that are looking to modernize their business, as well as attracting a younger market segment. When you think of an art gallery, you don't automatically think of the latest technology. However, we have seen that the NFC market was at 15.5 million in 2019, but it's expected to hit 54.8 million by 2028. So with this statistic alone, this is more than enough proof that this is a rich market for us. Yeah.
Sorry, Brent, go ahead.
Okay, I just to elaborate on that NFC market. So the NFC market for what is this, art in particular, art sales, or is this just generally things sold by NFC or?
Yeah, so it's not specifically pertaining to art, but we are seeing it being implemented in many different places. As you've seen with, say, QR codes on the menus in restaurants, we have just as much, if not more, possibilities with these NFCs. As Patricia touched on earlier, every time that you use Apple Pay, Google Pay, things like that, you're paying from your watch or your phone, you're actually using an NFC. So we are seeing it grow substantially in popularity across a variety of different markets. And with that being said, with current trends that are happening, COVID has made many more people more aware of reducing crowds and also reducing touching surfaces that others may have touched. When we are looking at traditional art galleries, oftentimes we see these kiosks that may hold tablets that play videos or ask you to interact with the art pieces in some way. However, we do want to avoid these things, as first off, it encourages crowds, which we don't want. And second, it doesn't offer you a personal experience. We really want you to personally connect to the art and have your own educational experience when you're in these art galleries.
We assess the competition that we may face and determined that galleries and museums with technology already implemented or seeking to implement this technology fall on a few downsides, such as cost, time, and other external factors. Not only is it costly to invest in the placement of tablets or kiosks at each art piece, but it's very time consuming to create the portfolios and the effort towards interviewing the artist and gathering the information. This effort expended could be more easily used by the galleries or the museums towards something different. We want to alleviate them a bit of this burden and do it for them. There are also other external factors such as COVID-19 that have also created the urgency for the need to have contactless and safe activities. We also assess the potential for artists to use website builders to create their own portfolios. And we determined that similar to galleries and museums, that there were expensive investment costs and time and work spent that would actually take away from the artist's main focus. The artist's main focus is to produce the art and to provide their passion. And our focus is to help them promote that and connect them with the people viewing it. So to break down some of the costs and revenue to get a base understanding. Sorry, Brianne, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I could be losing it, but I'm just trying to understand what service you're offering. Are you offering the platform for them to have the NFTs and for the artists to upload their information? Is your customer the gallery or is your customer the artist? I'm just trying to understand who you're servicing specifically.
Yeah, definitely. So our customer is the gallery, and in the financials, we will break down further about who's going to be paying us and where the will also be going. But to also just elaborate, the service that we're offering is to help the artist develop the portfolio as well. That way it can be implemented in the gallery. And we do have some financial costs that cover the expenses of, let's say, interviewing the artist, taking the videos, so making sure it's the best quality as well.
Okay, great.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks.
To break down some of the costs further and the revenue to get a base understanding before diving into the financials, we looked at three key things. The first one was the average revenue for banner ads on the web page, which would approximate to about $1. We also looked at the cost of the NFC and the label, which will cost us around $1 to create. And then we also will charge the galleries for our services, and this will be based on the number of pieces of artwork. And at each piece, it'll be about $160 each, and Suraj will be discussing this later on in the financials. And there's actually a great opportunity for the gallery to gain their investment back as well.
So what we're asking for today is $260,000, and in return, you will be getting a 30% equity within our company. So to break down the financials a little bit further, how are we going to be using your money? Well, a big portion of it is going to be, there was a question?
Yep. Your $160 per instance, how did you guys determine that price point?
Yeah, so the $160 was based off of basically the labor that we're going to be putting into it. And then the materials are a relatively low cost in regards to that, but it's mainly just for the labor portion of it that goes to the developers. So again, that big portion is going to be going to the developers and a little bit for the website itself, which is just those hosting fees. And then another larger cost is going to be the equipment. So when we're making these videos, we really want high quality videos on these websites. And then that also includes computers. And then taking a look at the materials, again, because they are so cost effective, because NFC is so widely available, we can get it for a much smaller discounted price, especially because we are buying in bulk. And then in terms of ad commission, what this actually is we are going to be paying back 10% to the actual galleries that are partnering with us. So then they're going to be getting 10% of our ad revenue. And I'll break that down even further as well. So coming into our contract, the first stream of revenue, as was stated, it's $160 per piece of art. And then we average that out to an art gallery having around 35 of these art pieces. So in the first year, we're looking at hitting one gallery, and that's how we got the number for the contract. And then in the second year, we might get, say, 2 more galleries, or maybe that one gallery renews their contract because they have new art pieces in and they need more of this technology. And then coming into the ad revenue, that's a real money maker here. The way that that works, the way that we broke that down is based off of foot traffic. So we average it out, say in a day, an average art gallery can get around 50 people in it. And then with that, we know that these art galleries aren't open every single day. So for 200 days out of the year, if we multiply those together, we get 10,000. Now, not all 10,000 of these people are going to be, of course, using their phone because some people might not know about the technology. So we factor that in as well by taking 70% of that and incorporating that into our ad revenue based on those $1 banner ads that are going to be playing at the top or bottom of the screen, which will be cycling through, say, local content and cam loops or other art-related marketing tactics. And then as we can see, it's going to be continuous growing. We're looking to getting more contracts with these galleries. And then in year 5, we are projected to have just shy of $1.5 million in total profit. Yes, Brent, there's a question there.
Just on the ad revenue, how are you coming to the figures on that? Is that, I assume none of that's coming from the gallery or anywhere else that has people advertising. So until you can show them the number of eyeballs on stuff, how are you setting your prices for that?
Right. So are you just, sorry, are you asking to break down the ad revenue exactly? Like,
well, I'm assuming it comes from just people that are sponsoring ads on the site once you click on the NFC and go to the artist page and stuff. So typically when you go around and solicit ad revenue, you'd want to show people how many views they're going to get in a year so they can be comfortable spending an amount to put those ads in front of people. So how did you arrive at those figures as to what you would be able to charge people without being able to show them any past history of traffic?
Yeah, we actually have a couple of people that are already interested in our ads, one of which might be tourism cam loops or perhaps the art gallery themselves or the art galleries that we're potentially talking to targeting. We do have a little bit of our investment there for marketing. It is quite small because a lot of our interactions will be quite personable as we're trying to stay local to begin with, but we are looking to aim our targeted ads at places such as tourism cam loops and etc.
Thanks.
And I believe Luke has a question.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, did you guys consider, like just looking at the overall revenue of the contract being relatively insignificant to total revenues, using that to lever stronger ads or to encourage more galleries to use your service?
So basically the contract is what we consider an investment for the gallery. We do understand that the gallery wants to make money as well and benefit from this as well. And so for their money to invest in us, we then offer our time and they gain that investment back. And sorry, one more question from Ted.
Yes, this is quite impressive. And I think you would need a lot more money up front. And a company is made up of like a three-legged stool of great people, great technology, and great money. What if I was to offer you 500,000 for 50%? How do you feel about an investor at 50 or even 51% of the company?
So as you will see later in our presentation, we actually do have an exit strategy as well. So while this deal is something that we would love to take into consideration as more of a partnership instead of more of an investment, I would encourage you to consider our exit strategy as well, as we do feel that this has very large potential to grow to a larger platform where we have the potential to make even more money in the long run.
Excellent, thanks.
Okay, so coming into our key numbers here. Your money is actually returned in the third year, and the return on investment that you're getting is just above $600,000 in the fifth year. And then, as we stated earlier, those galleries are getting that 10% ad revenue as well.
So looking at some key performance indicators, how do we know that this is a beneficial company for the galleries to partner with and that it's working for us as well? The first off, obviously, would be an increased engagement with the artwork. We are looking at targeting about 70%, and we will be able to track this using our data that we are collecting on our app. So this may look like how long people are watching the videos that are on there, how many taps we're actually getting on the NFCs, and how long they're spending on the web pages as is. And in turn, we can then turn around and tell this to people that are potentially looking at supplying their ads with us, and then we can get a more target market for them as well, as we will have this data to provide for them. We are also looking at increasing art piece sales. Obviously, this is the largest part for the gallery. That's how they're going to know that this is really being beneficial for them. And we truly feel that by not only connecting the community and establishing a better connection between the artists that are local to that community, having a better understanding of why the art was created, how it was created, and just background knowledge in general about the gallery and the pieces within it, we feel that there is very large potential for people to be wanting to purchase these and adding them into their home. We are also looking at partnering with about 8 galleries in year 5. We do feel that this is very plausible for us, as we are seeing very substantial growth within our financials and as a company as a whole. And then, oh, I see there is a question there. Yeah.
Yeah, just with, to echo Ted's idea of investing more, is it possible to invest more so we can get more galleries quicker before galleries, start to learn this model and implement it themselves, where we can just be the one source solution for galleries across North America, as an example?
I'd say definitely. We can open up conversation to that after our presentation here. And once we discuss our exit strategy as well, you might be interested in that. And I will be mentioning that actually in a few slides.
So getting into a couple of risks that we have identified. The first off is, as you just touched on there, the galleries implementing technology themselves. So far as we've seen, the technology is more of the kiosks, as I discussed earlier, and tablets that may be projecting videos and things like that. However, we do feel that this very much takes away from the personal experience, especially when you're going to a local gallery with local artists and Indigenous artists. It's not so much of a looking at everything as a whole, it's more of a connecting with individual pieces of art. And we feel that that's where we really want to take this. It's also very costly for them to implement these kiosks. And not only that, but it's also a lot of work for them in terms of maintenance, upkeep, and time consuming installing them and things like this. When they want new videos and when they need a software update and things like that, the burden's on them. However, with our technology, we take care of all of that and they don't need to worry about handling any of that. Of course, also with the COVID-19 pandemic, we want to discourage crowds as much as possible and have low contact where we can. Another risk is potentially implementing technology into a traditional market. Art galleries and technology are not the most common partners that you may see. However, we have seen that technology is increasing engagement and interactivity, especially because we are targeting getting a larger demographic of people really interested in this. A lot of those people that are younger are very tech savvy. They're already on their phones. So by doing this, we feel that it's a seamless integration of the two different markets. We've also seen that social media is actually the #1 result that people go to when they're trying to obtain information about local arts and culture. So the market is already there. The door is already open. We just really want to capitalize on that. And of course, the other risk is that there isn't an increase to admissions in the gallery and they're not seeing an uptick in sales and foot traffic and things like that. However, 70% of people in the greater Kamloops area have already stated that they're looking for more opportunities like this. They're already craving this in their daily lives. And by introducing technology, we are much more likely to capture a younger demographic. As I said earlier, we're bringing in the younger people. It could be a family tradition. It could be people that may have not really gone to art galleries before. They didn't understand the passion behind it or have knowledge about it. And this can be their new hobby and a new love for them that we're introducing them to.
And to just briefly touch on the timeline, the above timeline is just showcasing how we're going to be working with our partners. So every new partner that we actually get. And then the below timeline is showing that we're projecting to get about 7 to 8 contracts or galleries by the 5th year.
And so finally moving on to our potential growth and our exit strategy, we're currently focused on these smaller galleries, but with hopefully your help, we want to be able to capture larger galleries with a greater abundance of pieces of artwork and greater a variety of artists. We also see other market segments being easily entered into because we can implement this NFC labeling into places such as museums, where there are several artifacts that also include story and history and information behind them. And after we finally reach satisfactory growth, potentially in the short or long term, our exit strategy is to be white labeling. We do see this easily implemented by a company or perhaps yourselves, Ted and Luke, by a large buyer such as the National History Museum or the Met, where lots of pieces of artifacts or artwork can use this labeling technology and just put their brand on it. And so we would just like to finish off by saying behind every piece of art, there's a story, there's passion, and there's inspiration, something that defines us all as humans. And Art Story, we want to connect the community and share the work, the story, and the raw emotion behind each piece of artwork. We want to thank you for taking your time to listening to our team, and I hope that you share our passion with this topic as well. We look forward to working with you all in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That concludes your presentation, and you're free to leave the Zoom call.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.